Yo, what's going on? What's going on, everybody? How you doing? Greetings, and shalom to everybody. Grace, peace, and many blessings to you all. Grace, peace, and many blessings to you all. And good morning, to everybody. Good morning, everybody. Thank everybody for tuning in. Big shout out to everybody that's logging in and logging on, that's jumping on today. I'm not going to be before you long. I promise you I will not be before you long. And so want to talk about the voting division. I want to talk about Sunday, and I want to talk about community. All right. These are a couple of things that I want to discuss on the other day, but I kind of put it off. Hey, shalom, Sister Monica. How you doing? I do not like to engage in political conversations because of the fact that people don't understand the difference between things that are practical and things that are spiritual. There are spiritual systems and there are practical systems. Okay. You don't have to be spiritual to know that you need car insurance. Okay. Like it's just some things that we have to really understand, that there are differences in this earth that requires practical things of practical understanding. And there are things that are spiritual, of spiritual understanding. Hey, what's going on? Shalom, Tony, how you doing? You don't need you don't need to read the Bible to know that you need life insurance. Okay. Like, come on, like we got to stop this madness. Okay. You don't need the Bible to know that you need to show up to work on time. Like, there are certain things that are within the earth that requires practical application. And there are things in the earth that are spiritual applications. We have to just mature to understand. And once we understand and keep both in their proper perspectives, then we can have conversation and dialogue on spiritual matters as well as practical matters. Okay. I want Israel to understand this. I need you to thoroughly understand this, because sometimes a practical matter get crossed up with spiritual matters, and then arguments ensue when these are practical applications of things. Okay. It's the same thing as that. You don't need the Bible for a lot of things. Okay. There's, again, spiritual and practical. Now, let's deal with, I want to read Genesis chapter 15, verse number 5. I'm going to read 5 verses. Then I'm going to get into some conversation, some real talk. This is family talk. Okay. If you see me do this from time to time, that's because the camera is going in and out of focus. I'm trying to refocus it. Genesis chapter number 15 and verse number 5. This is Abram before he becomes Abraham, the father of faith, the father of many nations. He's still in his process. Okay. Genesis 15 and 5. And he brought him forth abroad and said, look now towards heaven and tell the stars. Look and declare. I want y'all to hear this. There are practical things that need to be applied in the earth that does not require spiritual applications. And God ain't tripping. The Most High not tripping because you chose to use a practical application about something, because he gave you common sense. Common sense is not infused with a spiritual application. You can use common sense, okay? some things that you don't, and I'm going to say this, and I know some people are going to trip. I know it's going to probably bother with your theology. There's some things that you can do and some decisions you can make without you having to talk to God about it. Without you even having to talk to Yah. You don't even talk to Yah about certain decisions. There are certain decisions that you make, you don't even have to consult with him on because it's common sense. First, we have to learn to master common sense. Everybody wants to master spiritual applications. And nobody is mastering practical common sense. That says there's a lack of maturity. We lack mature areas. There are areas in our lives that lack and needs maturity. We need to mature in certain areas. And we're arguing over things that if we use practical applications. Okay, let's keep reading. He says, Abram, I want you to look first, then I want you to declare. He didn't tell Abram that I want you to look and I'm going to say it. I'm going to show you that I'm with you, but you got some decisions to make too. I'm not going to do everything for you. I'm going to be with you, but that don't mean I'm going to do everything. I'm going to do it for you. Children of Israel, you trying to go into the promised land. You know what? You got to fight. I'm going to be with you, but that don't mean I'm going to do it for you. That's what we got to understand about the way Yah works. Everybody listen, I'm going to tell you, some of y'all need to go back to Sunday school. Y'all trying to go to Shabbat school. No, you need to go to, you know why I say Sunday school? Because we've deemed Sunday school as elementary. And in some cases, y'all need to go back and listen and get those old books and go listen to that old deacon that don't use no big words. Y'all need to just go back to just listen to basic teachings before you try to get on the advanced level. Practical and common sense is the basic level of understanding. It's basic. I ain't going to do it. Listen, I'm going to be with you. That don't mean I'm going to do everything for you. You're going to have to go into the land and you're going to have to fight. But I'm going to show you that there are certain situations and decisions that need to be made that you're going to have to make decisions on. Look what it says here. He says in verse number 6, and he believed in the Lord and he counted it to him for righteousness. Look what he said. Let me go back. I'm going to read back up again. Verse number 5. Look now towards heaven and tell the stars, if thou be able to number them. And he said unto him, so shall thy seed be. And he believed in the Lord. He believed. You know what that means? He trusted. You know why? Because he understood that I'm going to have to declare this. Sometimes you have to look at your situation and declare it to the Father, or declare it to your situation. We're not going to always be in this position. I don't care who in office. I don't care who running for president. I don't care who the mayor is. I don't care who the governor is. I don't care who the president is. I don't care who any of these folks are. I don't care who none of these. I don't care. I'm not going to allow them or my situation to be like this. Sometimes you got to look at it and declare it. But y'all say that's too Christian. And you see Abram doing it right now. You see Abram doing it right now. That's too weak. That's too soft. You're too emotional, Og. I'm trying to get y'all the basic fundamentals. Common sense. Common sense. Look what he says. Verse number 6. And he believed the Lord and he counted it to him for right. He believed, and the Lord said, since you spoke your situation, since you looked at the stars of the heaven, you declared that your children will be as many as the stars. See, we take that and say that the Father is saying that Israel is going to be the number of the stars. We missed it. No, Abram declared it after he looked at it. We say, no, the Father said, no, the Father didn't say it. Read it again. Read it again. Look what he says. He says, look now towards heaven and tell the stars, if thou be able to number them. And he said unto him, so shall thy seed be. Abram believed it first, declared it first. Then the Father said, okay, since you got faith to declare it, it's going to be. But if Abram didn't look and Abram didn't declare it, it wouldn't be so. Henceforth makes him the father of faith, or the father of many nations. Missing it. Look what he says. He says in verse number 6, and he believed in the Lord and he counted it to him. For some of y'all don't even believe in the Lord. Some of y'all don't believe that the Father can do some great things. You don't believe past what you can read. If you can't read it, you don't even believe it. It ain't the politician. Y'all arguing over voting. Y'all are arguing over voting. If you vote, you side with the system. If you don't vote, then you're a part of the problem. Both of y'all going back and forth talking about who's a part of the problem. No, your declaration is a part of the problem. We're in the situation we're in because y'all can't believe past what y'all can read. Y'all just came off of Israel. You just came off of a fast, and you went worse. You became worse after the fast than you was before the fast. But y'all want to blame people who voting. You want to blame people who not voting. You want to blame Donald Trump. You want to blame everybody, all the politicians. You want to blame the system of voting. And your behind became more wicked after the fast than before the fast. You want to argue over Sunday worship. You want to argue over who not voting, who voting. You just came off of a fast, Israel. You can't even believe past what you can see. Y'all don't have no faith. Israel, you ain't got no faith. You think set apart is knowing you Israel. Abram was set apart and he wasn't even an Israelite. Your father Abraham was set apart because he had faith. That's what set you apart. You don't even know what set apart means. It's become a bumper sticker in Israel. I got a set apart spirit. How you got a set apart spirit and you don't have no faith? You can't even trust the Most High that he gonna do something for you tomorrow. You're trying to figure out how in the world you gonna survive tomorrow when the birds and the animals, we just read Genesis yesterday. Just read Genesis yesterday. The birds and the animals got more faith than you because they don't worry about what they're gonna eat tomorrow. You worry about the next minute. You ain't got no faith. All Israel is not Israel. And y'all wondering why. Y'all grieve the Spirit, man. You grieve the Spirit. Every moment, I pray every moment the Father expose the foolishness so that way his true people can rise to the top. And some of y'all ain't even fast. You fronted and perpetrated like you did. And I can respect those who said they wasn't going to fast because they knew y'all behind was going to be some hypocrites. When y'all going to understand that the letters don't make you set apart? When you going to understand that your faith sets you apart? When you going to clean the inside of your cup, Israel? When you going to clean the inside of your cup? I pray every day that the Father deafen the ears of people not to hear your voice if you a hypocrite. Arguing about stuff they ain't even sanctioned in Torah. Let's read about Abraham. Verse number 7. And he said unto him, I am the Lord that brought thee out of Ur. You ain't wake yourself up. Y'all parading around here like y'all something special because you talking about you Israel. Because you done changed your Facebook name. Because you can come Yashahala. Because you can ball your fists up. The Most High said, I the one who woke you up. And you act like you did it yourself. And then you walk around here arrogant. Like you something special. It ain't even about you. It's his promise he made to Abraham. It ain't got nothing to do with you. The only reason why you woke and the only reason why you got a promise is because of Abraham, who wasn't an Israelite. But because the Father ain't like your lying behind self, he keep his word. You parade around here like you something special. And miss me with that verse talking about you special. No, those who trust the Most High is the ones who special. Those who have faith in the Most High, those are the ones who special. You miss me with that stuff. You carnal. And that's why you rather call everybody out but yourself. Everybody the problem but you. The Father got an alt with you because you arrogant. You 10 times more of a devil than you was before you even woke up to who you was. And until you get your act together, it's going to be a whole lot of y'all ain't going to make it. A whole lot of y'all going to get purged. A whole lot of y'all going to remain in your situation because you got more faith in the name Israel than you have in the one who created you. That's your problem. You only serve him because of the idea that you Israel. Not because of who he is. Just because of the idea of knowing you Israel. That's the only reason why you walk around here like this. Arguing and boasting. Talking about the Father only deal with y'all. He ain't dealing with nobody who ain't got no faith. It's ridiculous. Look what he says. Verse number 7. Abram, just in case you get arrogant and forget, like your children who coming after you, who was numbered as the stars, who gonna be on Facebook Live and in 2018 gonna wake up to realizing they Israel, just in case you decide to act like them, let me remind you of who woke you up and who brought you out of the pagan system. Because you didn't do it on your own. And once you realize it's the Father who's in control, then things will start changing. Ain't nobody gonna follow y'all. Why follow you into hell? Why follow you off the cliff? Just in case you decide, Abram, to act like them, let me remind you of who did what for you. Because when the blessings start rolling, and when you start having more children, you might decide to get arrogant and to think that you did this. Let me set something in here early for your behind. Look what he says. Verse number 7 of Genesis 15. And he said unto him, I am the Lord that brought thee out of Ur of the Chaldeans. Do y'all know what Ur was going on in Ur? Do you know that Abram's parents were pagan worshipers? And he could have been brought up the same way? But y'all forget that. Y'all think y'all did it yourself. You think you did it yourself. And you think you're waking up everybody. See, that's your problem. You're so arrogant. You parade around here like you the one who waking folk up. I see how you talk. I see how you post. I see how you teach. Like you the one waking folk up. Have you not heard that God is not illiterate? No man can search the depths of his knowledge. No man can even actually describe him. Nobody. You ain't righteous enough to call his name, and you're not righteous enough to even look at him. But you're arrogant. Just keep it up. Keep it up. Look what he says. I brought thee out of Ur of the Chaldeans to give thee this land to inherit it. To give you something. To give you something that without me, you wouldn't even have it. Verse number 8. And he said, Lord God, whereby shall I know that I shall inherit it? And he said unto him, take me a heifer of 3 years old, and a she-goat of 3 years old, a ram a year of 3 years old, and a turtle dove and a young pigeon. And he took unto him all these and divided them in the midst and laid each piece one against another, but the birds divided he not. He obedient. He ain't doing it his way. You just came off a fast. And look what we get. Look at the chaos that ensued. Look at the chaos. Now let's deal with this whole thing here. Because we got brothers and sisters who keep Sabbath. You got brothers, some brothers keep Sabbath, have service on Friday. We do. Some brothers keep Sabbath, have service on Sunday, the first day of the week. Some brothers don't agree with it at all. I'm neither here nor there, even trying to argue with you or whatever point you, and it's not just one brother. I don't want nobody to think that it's one particular individual. No, it's several of people. First, we need to define what worship is. Which I'm going to come back and do a lesson on that. what worship is. All right. I'm going to holler at my brother, Deacon Reddick. All right. I'm going to holler at him. We're going to do something on this. We're going to define what worship is, because once we define what worship is, then you're going to have to pin yourself down to what worship is. Because if you pin yourself down to it, then we're going to see if you do anything outside of the definition, outside the Sabbath, you in worship. You in worship. So that means Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, or Sunday. If you do anything described as worship, you're going to be in some trouble. This is where you're about to get yourself in trouble. Now let's deal with creation. Because I'm not going to deal with these subjects long. I'm going to get off of here. Let's deal with creation. What day, according to, because everybody follows this particular calendar that we on right now as their definition of how we keep days. Let's deal with this. According to the calendar that we deal with right now, the first day of the week is Sunday. Hold on. Let's see what the Most High was doing on Sunday. Okay? We know he rested on the Sabbath. What was the Most High doing on Sunday? According to your calendar, in which you honor the Shabbat on. Because you have Sabbath service on Saturday based off this calendar, so y'all can talk all these calendar talk all you want. Okay? Let's go into Genesis. And we're going to use this calendar, okay? Because that's the one you keep. You ain't keeping no other one. So you miss me with that. You might do your little feast day thing and all that. But I'm finna get in that too. I'm going to get in that too, okay? Let's look at this right here. Let's see what was going on, okay? Let's see. We're going to read down here. Let's see what's going on here. We're going to read right here. We're going to go to Genesis chapter number 1 and verse number 1. Let's do this. In the beginning, which I'm going to read it as the KJV translation. I'm not going to get into the Hebrew. I dealt with that the other day. I'm not going to get into. We're going to read it from the KJV translation. All right. Then we get into the Hebrew. Let's see what the Most High was doing on Sunday. We know everybody know he talk about he rested on the Shabbat. Let's see, was he doing anything? And we're going to prove this. Let's see. In the beginning, God created the heavens and the earth. And the earth was without form and void, and the darkness was upon the face of the deep. And the Spirit of God moved upon the face of the waters. And God said, let there be light. What God doing? He chilling? He ain't doing nothing? Let's keep reading. And there was light. And God saw the light, that it was good, and God divided the light from the darkness, and God called the light day, and the darkness he called night. And the evening and the morning was the first day. On Sabbath, on the first day of the week, on your Sunday worship, the Most High was working, doing ministry. Doing ministry on the first day of the week. He ain't resting till the Sabbath. Henceforth, when you go to the New Testament, you see that they were working, doing ministry 7 days a week. When you get into the understanding and breaking down the temple and the priests working in the temple had to be burning, the light had to be burning 24 hours, 7 days a week. The priests were working shifts. Somebody was working on Sunday because the temple was open. When the brothers was in the New Testament going into the temple, reasoning daily with the priests in the temple, they was in there daily, reasoning with the scriptures. Meaning somebody was in the temple on Sunday. Just like it was somebody in the temple on Monday. Just like it was somebody in the temple on Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. I'm trying to get y'all to understand something beyond your understanding because you've been indoctrinated as a Hebrew too. This ain't speaking against the Shabbat. We know we keep the Shabbat. We know we keep the Shabbat. But this is to make sure y'all get an understanding that the Most High don't take no breaks. And he don't expect you to take no breaks either. He don't expect you to take no breaks either. So a brother keeping the Shabbat, cool. Cool. But if you say that we can't worship the Father on no other day but the Shabbat, then your behind bet not even talk to the Most High on a Monday, a Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and you better not talk to him on a Sunday. Because we're going to define what worship is. Now let's deal with this community thing. We can't create no healthy community if brothers ain't even faithful to their wives. Let's deal with this. We're going to deal with this. Because it's a bunch of madness, Israel. You can't expect no brother, because in community, it requires me having your back. It requires me having your family back. If you ain't faithful to your wife, how can I expect you to take care of my daughter if anything happened to me? How can I expect you to take care of my wife if anything happened to me? You can't even be faithful to your own wife. How we going to be a community? You can't even be faithful on your job. How we going to be a community? Y'all jumping every month. You on another job. Talking about it's the white man. Talking about this and talking about that. You can't even provide. You can't be faithful to nothing. Nothing a part of your life shows that you faithful and dedicated. Why would I want to build a community with you? You can't even be faithful. You know it starts at your home first. So when I look at how your home is, I know how you're going to treat the community. And this is why the community jacked up the way it is. The reason why we in the mess in the first place, Israel, is because of the men in the community. Y'all don't even want to divorce. Y'all don't even want to marry your wife, the women that you with. You're running around here talking about, in ancient Israel, they wasn't no marriage license. What the heck did Moses have a bill of divorce for if it wasn't no doggone license going on? If it wasn't no ceremony? You ain't even have a ceremony. Why do you think that Joseph wanted to put her away? Why do you think that they had a white sheet to make sure the hymen hadn't been broken previously before? Why did they want to make sure that there was blood on the white sheet before? Because it was a part of the ceremony. It was a part of the ceremony. Y'all can miss me with that madness. Miss me with that. You know the story where they talk about how Mashiach was at the wedding. Well, what he was doing when they ran out of wine? What was he doing? He was at a barbecue? What was at a barbecue? Y'all don't even have no... Where's your ceremonies at? Where's your diary at, man? Where's your diary at, man? Can somebody please explain? Listen, let me tell y'all sister something. If these jokers don't want to marry y'all and don't want to have no form of ceremony, stop opening your legs and having babies from these dudes, man. These dudes don't even want to take care of their own kids. How can I expect to build a community with you? You won't even provide for your kids. Come on, man. That's practical. I don't even need to bring the Bible into that. And we can't bring the Bible into that. Half of y'all jokers ain't even got an inheritance for your kids. And as a matter of fact, in Torah, since y'all want to talk Torah, y'all always about culture. You ain't taking care of your kids. We got the right to kick your behind out the community. I don't care how much scholarship you got. Kick they behind out the community. Dog, I can't deal with you, bro. I can't deal with you. We can't have no business. We can't do none of that together. Okay? You ain't taking care of your kids. Therefore, you are a problem in the community. The reason why Israel in the place that they in now is because of the dudes, because of the men in the community. The men got us in the problem that we in right now. But they want to blame it on the sisters. The bill of divorce wasn't issued because the women weren't faithful. It was the men that didn't want to do their job. Mad, she can't give me no son, so I want to divorce and go get another woman. You ain't never been faithful and committed. You ain't been committed to the Most High. That's the reason why we're in the situation we're in. Your disobedient self. But, oh, the Father only speak to me. Yeah, he only spoke to them back then, and look at the situation we in. Obviously, you wasn't listening. Matter of fact, your own father, Abraham, didn't even want to listen when the Father was telling him to get rid of Ishmael. But guess what happened? It took the sister to say, Abram, send him on his way. And guess what the Father said? Listen to your wife, Sarah, because right now she has more understanding and wisdom than you. So obviously, we're in the situation we're in because of the men. Once we start addressing these men problems that don't nobody want to talk about, then the nation can start to begin to come together. You want to be a man without even proving it. These women don't even respect you. That's why they don't even listen to you. Every time I look around, you trying to get her to follow the truth. And she's like, why would I follow you? When we've been in this mess, now you coming with something else. Now you want me to follow you in the truth, but yet when we weren't in the truth, I couldn't follow you then. And then you come into the truth and you become more hellraiser. You bring more hell to the house because now you're trying to mandate something that you don't even have the spirit, the authority, or the credibility to do. You're not credible to follow. So why would she follow you? And why would the Most High put the spirit on her to follow you? You ain't credible. And the people in the community know you ain't credible. But the men don't want to say nothing because why? They know that half of them just like you. Y'all can get mad at me all you want. I told you, I ain't nobody puppet. And I ain't in this for friends. Your salvation is more important than our friendship. I told y'all from day one, I don't have no problem. I don't have no problem at all not talking to you. I have no problem at all. I'm not dying for friends. I thank the Father that he has people in my life who understand, but who have the spirit. But I ain't running around here trying to get no friends. I ain't running around for no partners. I'm out here to do the will of the Most High. All my partners are the ones who are obedient. All my partners, the ones who are obedient, them the ones going to be in the kingdom. Who got a righteous understanding by the spirit, not just by the letter. So miss me with that, man. I be trying to keep quiet sometimes. So I don't want people to just think, hey, they go majors out. But at the end of the day, somebody got to say something. Especially after time, when time keep going on and on and on and on. And brothers ain't saying nothing. Y'all say y'all don't have no patience. I don't have no patience. You know what? The Most High running out of patience with you too. So just like you don't have no patience with nobody else, the Most High gonna start showing you just how much patience he got with you. That's what's gonna happen. That's what's going to start to happen. We're gonna start to see a whole lot of people. They're gonna start falling off. They're gonna start falling off. You ain't gonna be able to take this ride. You're not gonna be able to take the ride. He's trying to give you an opportunity now to get it together. You can't even deal with this so-called system. Man, do you think I don't care about this system? I don't care about this. Listen, listen, man. At the end of the day, I'm not going to be around here complaining or crying. Listen, you do what you want. If you want to vote and you think that it's going to help you, all right, hey, fine. That's your business. If you don't want to vote because it ain't going to help you, fine. That's your business. It's your business. You know why? Because it's practical. And folks right here talk about ancestors. Let me tell you something. Your ancestors died and marched Not because they were disobedient or because they didn't have no education when it comes to the scriptures. No, it was practical. You dealing with some folks who think that, hey, listen, y'all not human. And they say, we built this country. Okay? We built this country. We want to have the option. And for some of y'all like that talking about, well, your ancestors died for this country. You need to vote. Stop that. Stop that madness. That's not why they marched and that's not why they died. Okay? That's not why they caught hell trying to do it. It wasn't because you need to vote because they did. No, they did that because they wanted to have an option. Before that march, before what they did, there was no options. Okay? It was no, you can't vote because you're not human. They wanted to have an option. This wasn't a spiritual thing. This wasn't a spiritual, it was about, this was practical. That's what I'm telling you. You have to learn the difference between what's practical and what's spiritual. They wanted to have the option to say, I don't want to vote or I do, because of the fact that there was no options. That's why they died. That's why they marched. It ain't had nothing to do with because they were dependent on the system. No, they wanted to have for them, it was about being a human. Just like they wanted to drink water. So something wrong was, they depended on the system because they want to drink some water out of the same water fountain. Oh, you depend on the system because you want to drink some water out of the same water fountain everybody else. No, see, if you're going to go there, then I can say, well, you depend on the system because you're paying a water bill. Why don't you go and why don't you get some water out the streams and the lakes? Why don't you go do that? See, we can break this thing. This thing can go either way. Because if you say that they depended on the system, then let's look and see how much you depend on the system. If you don't want to be a part of anything that they got going on with the system, get on Facebook. That ain't God's system. What you on Facebook for? Get on Facebook. Don't ride the bus. Don't file income tax. Don't go on their job. Don't go to the grocery store. Don't buy their cell phone. Don't use their internet. I mean, do I need to go on and on and on and on and on and on and on? Because everything, according to the scriptures, say you're going to have one of all things. That don't mean that the Father can't bless you in a wicked system. I mean, look throughout throughout the scriptures. You see Israel was always in a wicked system, and yet the Father blessed them. They didn't even want to leave Babylon. They was getting blessed so much. And how many Gentile kings it was that the Father called him his servant. This is why we got to understand the book and understand what's going on. We got to understand this thing, man. If you're going to say you vote and you depend on their system, well, okay, I'm going to say don't go to the doctor then. Don't go to the doctor. Don't get their insurance. You better not be filing taxes. How about not pay taxes? Try that. Don't go to their jobs. Don't go buy their clothes. See, it ain't nowhere around it. Well, then, you know what? Shoot, I'm going to grow my own garden. I'm going to grow my own. Okay, guess what? You still paying property tax. You still in the system. You got a social security card, right? You're a part of the system. You got a birth certificate, right? You're a part of the system. You got a passport, right? You're a part of the system. I mean, do I need to keep going on? No matter what you do, you're still a part of this system because the structure is set up that way. Whether you vote or not, you still find yourself a part of the system some kind of way. At the end of the day. Don't pay car insurance. See what I bet you paying car insurance. And all of these things are owned by somebody, the European or a Jew. And you know what they say? Well, look at everybody else. Well, look at everybody else. If you can go to Africa, you're still a part of the system. You go to Asia, you're still a part of the system. No matter where you go, man. That's all I'm trying to get people to understand. Folk, when you get mad, folk, you get mad all you want to. At the end of the day, you're a part of the system. Point blank, period. Every time I look around, you're behind. When they send that letter to renew your license, you're behind go right down to the DMV. And you pay them just to have a license. You pay them just to have a license. Don't pay property tax. Why don't you go do that? Go tell the property. Matter of fact, no. Go call, when you get off the phone, call the light bill company and tell them I'm not going to be a part of your system. I'm not giving you no more of my money. And let's see in the next 30 days, let's see if the Most High going to turn some lights on in your house. Let's see. Let's see that. Why don't we try that? Let's start there. Go call the water bill people and tell them I'm not depending on your system. I'm not paying no more water. And let's see what's happening. Let's see if springs of water start flowing out of your backyard. Because there's practical applications and there's spiritual principles. When you keep both of them, you keep the spiritual and the practical in perspective. You keep the practical and the spiritual in both perspective. No matter what you do, the system is all set up for you to be dependent upon it practically. See, in Babylon and in all these other captivities, the system was more spiritual because it required you to bow or worship a deity or you will die. That's more of a spiritual thing. In America, it hasn't gotten to the point to where they're telling you to bow to the flag or die. So it's more of a practical thing. Yes, there are spiritual elements in spiritual Egypt, but it's more practical system now. You have the option to do certain things. You have the option to do certain things. Hey, Brother Joshua, what's going on, man? I'll read it afterwards because I seen it was kind of long, and I'm going to have to get off of here, but maybe we can, maybe you can hit me up offline, or maybe I can have you come on a live later on, like next week or something, and then we can talk about it. All right, but just inbox it to me so I can see. It was kind of long. I couldn't read it all. Hey, look, y'all, blessings to y'all, man. I'm gonna have to get off here. I need to go. I'm gonna go meet my wife and have some lunch with her. And I just want to get on here, man, and really just bring some things and have you starting to think. All right, have you starting to think, because I love our people, but sometimes, man, we get crazy, man. We get crazy with things. Okay, we just get all the way out there on some things that we need to be reeled back in to understand things practically first. All right, I love all of y'all, man, straight up. All right, those of y'all know my heart. Y'all know that I'm all down for the truth, and I'm not. It's not forcing anything on you. It's to get you to think, okay, about things differently. All right. And not be confined to systems, because we have a lot of systems in place. Okay. We have a lot of things in place that have indoctrinated us. We've gone from one place of indoctrination to an extreme indoctrination. And so we have to get to a point to where we become balanced in our understanding and how we deal with things, from the practical and the spiritual things. All right. Love you too, Brother Tony. You know you my boy, man. All right. You know you my brother. All right. So definitely, man, I love all of y'all with the love of Christ. I'm going to get up off here, man, and go meet my sweetie. And I love all of y'all, man. All right. Grace, peace, and many blessings to you all, and shalom. Don't forget, we'll be in Jacksonville, Florida. Boom, Jacksonville. If you're in Jacksonville, Florida, or know anyone in Jacksonville, Florida, we have service on Saturday, and I'm going to be dealing with the Levitical code. I'm going to Leviticus, and we're going to be dealing with things. The subject is haircuts and facials. Okay, we're gonna be dealing with this, the Levitical code. And so I love all of y'all, man. Let's keep going. All right. I love all of y'all, man. Straight balance. All right. Shalom.